Today we have 6 setups sent in by you guys that I'm going to rate and review. So sit back, relax, and take some notes to improve your setup, and let's get into the first one. This is Dennis, a 16-year-old out of Arkansas, and his main game is Destiny 2 and Apex Legends. His previous setup was a PlayStation setup and a very small desk, and you can see that he's upgraded a lot since then. He built this setup mainly for gaming and schoolwork, and who inspired him to build this setup was me and Chris made their DIY videos. And his occupation is that he works for a local minor league baseball team. So Dennis's setup right off of the bat, I just love the personality and the way that you went about this setup. From the lighting in the setup to the diffuse RGB on the desk and the organization, this is pretty insane, man. I love the shelves as well. You really stuck true to that blue theme that you have as well. And this is actually really nice setup. Cable management's really good as well. RGB looks good. PC's lifted off the carpet. That's amazing as well. The shelves and the personality is there. Also love the placement of this like the Xbox, the plant, everything just seems really aligned and really clean. I also like how you put the border around like the gloves and the Miller jersey. And I think you said in your submission that you're gonna put a little bit of like a mic arm and then some things like that. What I would recommend as well is maybe a raceway, like a wall raceway for the cables coming down here. Maybe getting a little bit longer cables, you know, making it go straight down. That way it kind of gets hidden below the desk. Other than that, man, there's really not a whole lot to say. I mean, you did a great job with cable management. Personality's on point, lighting's on point, and you also did this all unique since you did this custom lighting here. And honestly, I don't even know what to say to this, man. I think this is a solid 9.5 out of 10. I think this is an amazing setup. This is Gal, a 12-year-old out of Pennsylvania, and his main games are Rust, Roblox, and GTA. Wow, what a lineup. It took him about 2 years to build this entire setup, and his old setup was just an Xbox on a desk. Since he's 12 years old, he does not have a job, so he does chores to earn money for his setup. To build this gaming setup, he was inspired by TechSource, me, and Convol. And who helped him complete this setup is his dad built everything you see in the setup, and his mom gave him a lot of design ideas for it. W parents. Looking at this right off of the bat here, I mean, the mouse pad's super small, one of those knockoff Temu ones. I mean, overall, it's not a bad setup. I just feel like there's a lot of things that are just placed in the wrong spot. The biggest thing I think right now is that what could help the setup is not using one mount to hold both monitors. I did this in my Blau video, and I kind of explained why every monitor on its own stand. And the reason for this is that when you put them both on one stand, it creates this lean forward effect, and the stability of the whole setup becomes very bad. So I'd recommend maybe getting a second Vivo mount and putting one either vertically or just separating a little bit from the monitor, because it creates this like lean forward and it's too heavy to put both monitors on there, and it creates it to like be a little bit harsher. What I'd also recommend is a raceway that just goes right in between this monitor here to hide the cables from the monitor to the PC, because the PC's on the desk anyway. So honestly, you could just put all the wires together and put a raceway right here to the right, and it would be completely hidden. For personality's sake, I do like the shells. I think the pegboard's cool. I see the idea and the vision you're going for, but it does need a little bit better execution when it comes to like maybe adding more stuff in the other sides of the walls. I feel like everything's kind of condensed to one area. I would have done 2 thinner pegboards on this wall like this, and I would have maybe made one longer shelf and one shorter shelf just to make it like look kind of cool. But what you did with this works as well. I just think it needs more to it. And honestly, I mean, it's a great setup. I'd probably rate this a solid, I'm gonna rate it a solid 6 out of 10. I think you did a great job. This is Jackson, a 13-year-old streamer located out of Michigan. His main game is Apex Legends, and he also streams it. His previous setup was just an Xbox One S and an old TV, so he's upgraded a lot since then. He finished this build around February of this year, and it's taken him around a whole year to build this setup. He afforded this setup by mowing lawns and from his parents giving him money on Christmas and birthdays. Off of the bat, I'm just kind of noticing everything everywhere. If I'm honest, it seems very cluttered in a way. Like, just looking at it straight up, people say these Signum racks work, but in actuality, they really don't. I hate these things for cable management. I think they're one of the worst things ever invented. I think they suck. The best one I recommend is in my Amazon store link in the description. But looking at everything in the setup, I mean, it's got a good vibe going for it. You've got a really solid space to work with. I think you just need to declutter and then reorganize and also redesign. I like the hexes on the wall, but part of me thinks that it would have been better to stop like halfway through and then connect it to the other half of this wall right here. I like what you did on the shelves on the left side. I somehow wish that there was implemented more in the setup itself, but it's not a huge deal. I think you did a great job for majority of it. Yeah, so I'd probably rate this a solid 6 out of 10 again. I think this is Joseph, an 18-year-old video editor out at Estonia. The main games he plays is Valorant and Overwatch. What inspired him to build this setup better is that he got into a professional tier 2 team for Overwatch, which inspired him to play better and also improve his setup. He mainly built the setup though for esports and video editing. He built the setup entirely by himself. What's even funnier about this is he's editing this video right now. So this is my editor's setup. It's kind of funny because I don't know how you're playing this, dude. I don't even know what you're doing. I do like the shelves and the personality you added with all the boxes and things you like. I think you need a bigger desk, and I think you need to declutter and maybe like organize where your PC goes. I do like the shelf with the PC, but I think having the IO shield faced this way without any raceways or anything makes your PC just look like so much wires everywhere, like your cable management, like what is going on here? Maybe you could move your monitor over left more, make this monitor more like there as well, like kind of push it back more toward the computer, because also you're getting your half a corner of your mouse pad gone just from this, and you're hitting your monitor probably when you go to flick, like you boom boom, you know what I'm saying? So then I'd also recommend maybe moving this plant out of there. It has no purpose, it's behind the monitor, no purpose there. First, part of me just thinks you need to redo the whole setup with the room you have, because you have a really good space. I think you just need a bigger desk, or like, but yeah, overall it's not a bad setup. It just needs a lot of work, a lot of help. Also, I don't know why the hell you're using whatever the hell that is. Get that off your desk. That's a terrible keyboard. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, overall I think you did a great job, man. I mean, I think it could use some work. I'm gonna give it a solid 5 out of 10. I don't know, maybe if this video gets 1 million likes or something, I'll go rebuild this setup. Who knows?
YouTube, do your thing. Please get this video to 1 million likes. I really need this setup redone.
Some mouse pads in the setups in this video are my own company, GutzyAiden.com. So if you like what you see, check out the description down below, and let's get back to the video. This is Sam, a 14-year-old out of the Netherlands, and his main games are Fortnite and Minecraft. His old setup was just a PlayStation with a TV, so he's upgraded a lot since then. His main source of inspiration for the setup is TechSource, me, and Casp. He afforded the setup by birthdays and working. His future plan is to buy a new PC, put a light on his poster, and add more personality. Next up is Sam. Ooh, I'm already liking this. So Sam's setup is kind of what built one of those slant rooms that goes down, and I love these rooms. I think they always do so insane, like some insane setups out of them. I love the shelf above the setup. I think that's a genius idea. Cable management's okay. It's not the best, like from this angle. I don't like that you can see all of this, but you're kind of limited to the space you have, if I'm honest. But I do like that there's a laptop setup here. I'm assuming this is like a productivity setup, or like your brother or someone plays on it or something like that. You did a great job. The room looks really nice. I like this a lot. The only thing I would have recommended was to make some sort of shelf below your setup and put the PC down there, since there's really not a point to have it on the desk. And then that way you could get a bigger mouse pad that you could use or whatever. And if you don't need this laptop set up like this, if you don't need it practically like that, then I'd honestly recommend just making a docking station for your laptop to go in the main setup if it's yours, unless you want it separated like this. Some people need that for the workflow, but I'd recommend maybe just like centering the setup since you have all this space. Yeah, overall though, I think this is a great setup. It has a lot of personality. I love what you're doing with this space. I think honestly I would probably rate this a solid 7.5 out of 10. This is Vision, a 14-year-old student out of England. His main game is Minecraft, and his previous setup was very basic. Who inspired him to build the setup was TechSource, me, and various TikTokers. He finished building the setup in 2022, but it took him around 4 years to build this entire setup. He afforded the setup by birthdays, Christmases, and his 3D printing business. And here is the last setup of today. This is Vision's setup. I think the V that he built is really unique. I think it's kind of cool that he like did the hexagon panels on his own. The PC needs to go more to the right of this setup. The cable manager underneath the desk isn't the best. Yeah, it could honestly, one thing that could fix this is 2 raceways or 3 raceways right underneath the bottom of this, and just stuff the cables in, or just do 1 long raceway underneath. This would literally save you like from seeing all these cables, and it would be better for the setup itself. I'd also recommend maybe moving this monitor a little closer, because usually when we like a lot of streamers and stuff like that separate the middle of the monitor right here because they're putting a camera there, or that's like the best angle for a camera. In this case, since you only have the microphone, you could still bring the monitor over more. And I think you could honestly get away with maybe putting your mic arm on the right side over your mouth, or on the left side over your mouth instead of right there. Honestly, really nice, clean looking build. I would recommend, like, if you're looking to get more fans, maybe some more fans along the top for, you know, some other airflow, maybe some fans along in the bottom slot and the back slot back there. But what I'd rate this setup out of 10, honestly, 7 out of 10. If you guys made it this far in the video, make sure to leave a like and also watch this video next.